Well, here's an ultimatum for you guys and gals. This old sword's with you. An ultimatum. Got it? Well, I'm not the only one to make that joke. Apparently, also Blade HQ did last March, the 22. Okay. They came up with this article, Ultem 8 Ultimate Handle Material. And I'll give you the link to it. It's a pretty good article about what Ultem is and what it is not. So if you want to kind of walk through this article by screenshotting it or slowing it down or whatnot, give you that opportunity here. Here we go. Okay, so it has some very interesting properties, but let's talk about why it's being used so much. It's been almost a year. This is mid-February 2024. It's been almost a year since that article was written by Blade HQ. And I have on the table here 7 knives that I purchased in Ultem. And yeah, they were all purchased. So my choice. They weren't provided for review. I guess my affinity for it goes back to the 70s when I was doing some gemstone cutting. And you had something called amber, which obviously has been around millions of years because it is a tree sap. It's a petrified hardened tree sap that actually has, in many cases, insect inclusions. There's a little bit of an article on that, and a little bit about what amber is. It's fossilized tree resin, 2 to 50 million years. Good Lord. But let's talk about it a little bit, because a lot of you guys are sick of seeing Ultem while others can't get enough of it. Maybe it's kind of like JG10. I think it's taken off even bigger than JG10. The thing about JG10 is that it's a neutral or native G10 that allows you to dye it with RIT dye very easily. More easily than just about any other, maybe perhaps other than white G10. And some of you will make your attempts at micarta. Some micarta will dye easily, some will not. But I'll show you what I got on the table here, and then perhaps we'll talk a bit more about some of the qualities of Ultem and why, besides its color and the cosmetics of it, why it actually makes an excellent handle material, even though it's a little more pricey than micarta and G10. So the one I homed in on first is the Civivi Propugnator. It is a design by PG Knives, and they're a Polish knife maker. I'm not going to talk a lot about each of these as far as dimensions go or anything, because there are reviews on each on this channel. Just look them up by name. So that's the Civivi Propugnator. I love the way when they keep it crystal clear, how you can see right through it. There's been a lot done recently with acrylic handles, and a lot of those are, excuse me, either brown or clear or what have you. I think I did something on a concept knife, the Main Street, that had a light brown acrylic handle. Well, this is not acrylic. And if you check that article out, you'll find out a lot more about Ultem, but I will give you some of the high-level info on it. This, by the way, is a beautiful knife. D2, kept the steel pretty modest. But love the feel of it, love the looks of it. It's a pretty striking blade with all those compound grinds and whatnot. We'll get the other fixed blade talked about. You notice a little bit different treatment on this. This is Compliance Edge. I picked this up recently. This is the Copperhead. It is a custom knife from Compliance Edge. And Yoni is the Y-O-N-I is the guy's name that is in charge of Compliance Edge. This is a beautiful Tonto out of MagnaCut at HRC 64, I am told. And it's actually a much lighter knife than the Civivi, which is pretty heavy and chunky. A little lighter stock on this one. But the treatment of the Ultem, since we're talking about Ultem, this has got kind of some milling, micro milling on it that makes it more translucent than transparent. But if you chose to, you could take the handles off of either of these, and I think somebody stuffed some currency underneath to give it kind of an interesting pattern, you know, folded money. Dollars, $5, $10, $20, maybe $100. I don't know. This, by the way, has got some really good grip to it. And even this crystal clear, see if I can get you close to the mic here. You hear that resiny kind of sound as I rub my thumb on it. It's not slippery. It's not, certainly not as sleek or slippery as you might think. Another one I got recently is the Civivi Vision FG SNEX design super lock. And because this one has a black frame underneath, you see it ends up being kind of a different color. Not all Ultem is created the same. It does natively, you can't select the color per se. I think it has a lot to do with the source. If you know more about that, let me know. But this is one of my favorite SNEX knives. I do have a green, jade green G10 one as well. And I like this one better. Somehow, something about the yellow and the black are kind of cool. Here's another Civivi. This is the Bull Tusk with Damascus steel, stainless Damascus, deep carry clip. And this is another one that's relatively clear, but they do have mill marks here. And that has even a little different sound when you rub it. But it is kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Resiny is the only word I can come up with. Besides the milling they did on it. So it's not a slippery handle. And here's a Tucson By Night morning design. See if I can open that lefty. Got a fair amount of tension on it. I'm starting to use the right hand again. Here's the beautiful scar. Thumb is getting more mobile, but a little stiff still. Still lacking some strength for lots of thumb flicking. K110 on this one, I think. Yeah, K110 on this one. And there you can see straight through as well to all of the innards and the bar lock mechanism. They did that bar lock a little different. You can't really see the whole thing, but you can see the spring move a little bit inside. You probably see it better from over here. Kind of a cool feature is that you can watch the parts move underneath. And here is the Kubey Bluff. And that's another bar lock. They did a fair amount of milling on this one. And yet you can see straight through to the skeletonized frame. Finally, one of the priciest on the table next to the Copperhead is the Zulu. Let's see, I don't have the strength quite yet. There we go. Not that it's that hard. Just still working on building up the thumb strength. Took out some bones, moved some stuff around, etc. Rocket Design, Zulu. This was one of the first ones he made entirely out of Ultem with a black actuator, M390 for the steel, very lightweight. This thing is like under 2 ounces. It's just a complete feather. You wanted to have something you could even tuck in a shirt pocket, this would be it. And because it's got the button on the side. Doesn't matter whether you carry it in the right or the left pocket. Everything's equal. And again, you can see the entire mechanism on the inside there. He does some longitudinal milling, so you've got fair amount of work done on that, as well as some jimping here. Allows you to hold it pretty well without sliding onto that blade, hopefully. And the same thing on the back. So some of the characteristics of Ultem from that article, and it's pretty consistent. If you just Google it and look it up, you will see. Read it to you briefly while you gander around what's on the table there. Ultem is a new kid on the block. That's as of 2022, March. Maybe it's not the new kid on the block now. And it's an awesome option for handle material. It has a distinctive honey amber color. When you put it in direct light, it almost seems to glow. In terms of performance, Ultem improves greatly on other materials commonly used in knife handles. Usually improvements are really just trade-offs by another name, and we see this frequently in knives. I won't get into what he's talking about, steel, but Ultem was originally developed for another purpose. Micarta was originally an electrical insulator. G10 was used for circuit boards. Ultem was developed for aircraft interiors to be lightweight, self-extinguishing when exposed to fire, not to let off noxious fumes, and to have the strength that rivals aluminum. The medical and food production industries also love it because it can withstand corrosive environments with ease and is very easy to sanitize. And it can be 3D printed into some tooling parts for a fraction of the cost. Some of the characteristics are it's very strong, very stable, resists high temperatures, doesn't take on a patina like micarta, pretty much stays the same all the time. So for those that are thinking that maybe because it looks frail and fragile, it's clear, glass-like, that maybe it isn't tough. It's supposed to wear extremely well. And a knife with this handle likely isn't going to change over the course of the years you're going to use it. So there you go. Let me know what you think in the comments about Ultem. You may be sick of it by now. You may still love it. You may want to get some more knives with Ultem. And by the way, the chemical name, Ultem is a brand name, okay? Just like Kleenex is a brand name. Somewhere here, I'm going to give you the name. You probably already know it, and you're probably saying, hey, it's this, it's that. And okay, it is PEI, okay? So Ultem is the same as PEI. And what does PEI stand for? Well, I was going to tell you. It's crazy stuff when you're trying to look things up. But, okay. PEI is polyethylenimine. Polyethylenimine. So there you go. That's my little show on Ultem. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed looking at the blades on the table here. And perhaps I'll get a few more Ultems before somebody gives the ultimatum and says, no more Ultem. Mainly you guys. Take care, be well, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.